sis, how are you? It is alive. So if you're thinking I'm going crazy, I'm not. And if you are watching it tomorrow, why aren't you here? There's such a good bunch in the comments. You should come and join us on these lives. They're good fun. Hey Warwick, how are you? See, Tiff even gets the hello first now. Stay you peacock. Say hi to me. I'm here. I'm here. Anyway, how are we all? How are we? Are we okay? Can you believe it's Tuesday again? It's come around again. And look, it's getting bigger. It's getting bigger. Hey Phil, how you doing? All good. It's Request Live Tuesday. How are we all feeling about it? It's Kelly's night tonight. Kelly's request tonight. And yes, we're all going to be devastated at the end of it, just to let you all know. Hey, Cal, just talking about you. Literally just talking about you, saying we're all going to be devastated at the end of tonight. Such a brutal story, isn't it? Just awful, heartbreaking. I've got to admit, I'm not, you know, I don't, what should I say? I'm not an emotional person, as Tiffany can quite rightly tell you. I'm just not an emotional person. This one, yeah. I've had, I had a couple of problems getting through this one. It's been really hard, really hard, this one. So, well, I'm glad you're all doing good out there. I'm glad yous are all right. She's really not. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm actually really not. I'm not an emotional person. I'm genuinely not. I know. It's the same, Kelly. Same. I was just, every time I was learning another thing about it, I was like, really? Yeah. Almost got me this one, did I tell you? What was I going to say now? Yes, so it's Tuesday. It's Request Live Tuesday. If you are watching tomorrow, like I say, why aren't you here, for one? And two, if you'd like to join my Patreon, which is patreon.com/JessRose5472, or you can stick around for the jingle at the end to find out what else you can do. They'll all tell you in the comments. It's amazing. It's worth sticking around for an hour for. Just saying. It's really not. But the story's quite good. The story, you know, that part's okay. The jingle, but we love it. It's our thing. So, yeah, as long as you're all okay, as long as you're all doing all right out there. Can anyone hear me in the comments? No one's saying hello to me. Why is no one saying hi to me? Oh, well, Phil has. There we go. And I think Kelly did. Warwick didn't. Warwick just completely dismissed me as he came in, just saying hello to everyone else. Don't know how to feel about it. Genuinely don't. Feel like it's because he found out that it was a Patreon and not an OnlyFans. But, hey, oh, God, I normally save that kind of banter for the end. Hey, Natalie, how are you? How's it going? How you doing? Yeah, I will tell him. Even says, what about me? And just completely got blank still. Even showing my poorly arm and still got no sympathy. Well, that's okay. Like I say, not an emotional girl, so it's a good job, isn't it? Okay, so are we ready to go? Are we ready to start? Because it's a long one. I just want to let you all know. Mind you, I know they all are. But that's all right, Warwick. I'll forgive you now. Got to admit, I'd have had to have got my peacock onto you. Anyway, I'd have had to have got my peacock onto you. And yeah. No one wants that. Warwick. Do you know what, that peacock thing? I think it's going to be a thing, Tiff. I think it is, because I just keep saying it now. So by the time I next see you, that's what I'm going to be calling you. So just to let you know, it's just a habit now I've realised in the past couple of videos. But if you are watching tomorrow, we're going to begin now. I don't know how you can find that out unless you skipping through, but I just announce it anyway. I just say it anyway. I've got to stop flinging my arm around. You know, I was saying it's my elbow. I know I'm feeling very sorry for myself, but it's all here. It's the whole. Or Jesus. I like that. I like that. I go by Jessica or Goddess. So you can choose whichever one you like. I answer to both, so that's fine. So you want to Peacock or Jesus? I'll go with it. And Jess or Goddess is what I respond to. Just letting you all know, just putting it out there. But yeah, so let me fix this booth on because I'm looking like Snooky from Jersey Shore there. And although I thought she was fab, hey dude, who's in the league so far tonight? Or do that. Hey dude, who's in the league so far tonight? What does that mean? What does that mean? What's the league? What's the league? What have I missed out on? Or am I just being slow? Is it something I should know? Ah, you're Jesus. No, but doesn't a goddess, because I'm here, technically, you're walking on water somewhere. Oh God. Didn't say it. But a goddess, I can just peruse the earth. I can just peruse the earth, parade around the earth. See, you used to throw me off. This is why I could never try and hold a conversation with the comments while I'm telling the story. It'd be pointless. It'd be absolutely pointless. My brain would go off. It'd just be inappropriate. Sentences coming out every 2 minutes. This is why I have to phase out. I have to. Baby Jesus is watching. Ah, yes, Baby Jesus was watching us, wasn't it? Why was Baby Jesus watching us last week? I did notice that Baby Jesus was watching us, wasn't it? But now it's actually Peacock that's been watching us the whole time. So like I say, before I move on, it's Jessica or Goddess. Just there it is. I'm throwing it out. Right, okay. Dude versus moderator, who's winning? Oh, come on. We know who that is, Phil. Come on, we know who's winning that. Of course. Jesus would win. Of course she does. Right, I've got to stop saying that. Right, okay, we're going to begin. I'm going to leave these in the comments. If you're watching tomorrow, I'm going to begin now. And this is the Beyond Heartbreaking. Can I just say, the family, although the story is based in America, Cleveland, Ohio, in America, the family names, etc., they're from Ecuador. So I'm going to try my best, as I always do, not to butcher the names. So please bear with me. Right, okay, so the Beyond Heartbreaking Jailyn Candelario story. That's obviously the title of this, and it genuinely is beyond heartbreaking, so I hope you're all ready. Just letting you know, quick heads up, it is a child. That's the most warning I'm giving you. Okay, now, we're going to begin with Jailyn's mom. Oh God, I said it again, didn't I? Let's just go, mother, shall we? Yep, the fingers are back up again. I should just leave them up in the air. It's probably why my elbows, so I should just probably leave them up in the air, shouldn't I? But anyway, that's who she calls herself anyway. Her name is Crystal Candelario. All right. Now, at the point in the story we're going to get to, she's 32. All right. So, Crystal, in 2016, she arrived in the US with her grandmother from Ecuador. Right. That's where she came from. She was getting on okay. Now, around 16, 17, her first daughter, Amaya, was actually born. We don't know a lot about Amaya, quite rightly, I suppose, given what's happened. But she has Amaya in around 16, 17. Okay. Now, after a couple of years, Crystal's parents come to stay as well. They moved to Cleveland, Ohio, too. Her parents are Ketty Torres and Clever. He pronounces it clever, but he says it in an accent, so it's probably not clever. It's with a K, all right? So Clever Candelario, that's her dad, all right? So they turn up so now in the US is Crystal's grandmother, her parents, and also her daughter. Right? So they're all living here. Now come February 2022, so we are fast tracking a little bit. February 2022, Jailyn's born. Okay. Now her dad is from Ecuador. So Crystal had gone back. She'd caught for Jailyn. Now it's saying that he was a violent man. I don't know if that's the truth. I don't know. I don't think you can believe anything that comes out of this woman's mouth. Just letting you all know. But it said that he was a violent man. She had to escape from him, so she came back to Cleveland, Ohio, with Jailyn, right? And yeah, she returned without him, with Jailyn. So now, Crystal moves in to her own place with her parents. So there is, don't believe the grandmother's living in the same property. If you hear that she was, let me know. But I don't believe she was. I believe it was Ketty, Clever, which is Crystal's parents, Crystal herself, and Maya and Jailyn. Right? They're all living in the house. She is a single mom. She does work though. Now, Jailyn herself, it's such a shame because genuinely don't know much about this little girl. Said she was very good. I've seen the photos, I know I say it all the time. I know, and I must seem really inauthentic now when I say it. But when I describe these children, or when I describe anyone in my stories, I genuinely am being authentic when I say it, because each story that I do is new. I don't compare it to past ones. With in this regard, anyway. They're fresh stories, and oh my God, she's just adorable. Absolutely adorable, this little girl was. Oh, the big brown eyes. Now, there is a picture that I've noticed online. When I finish telling you the story, if you want to go away and have a look at her, she's just gorgeous. But I have noticed that there are, obviously, you see comments from various platforms and stuff, where it says that you can see other photos. You'll get what I mean in a minute. No, you can't. Not that I've seen, and not that I believe. And I believe the photo, which is really inappropriate, that's put up, that's not her. Certainly, and not at that point anyway. That's not Jailyn. So you have to be careful with the pictures that you're looking at. You all know that anyway. But the photos that I've seen of her that are genuinely her, just adorable, gorgeous little girl. Quite chubby, very cute. Tiny, little diddy thing, but very cute, right? But her mum, Crystal, well, at this point, she's struggling emotionally, physically. It's getting her down. She's working. She's gone into teaching, like her dad. And yeah, she was just struggling. So now we get to the beginning of June-ish, 2023. Okay. Now, Ketty and Clever, Crystal's parents, they go on vacation. They go on holiday. Now, they bring a Maya with them. Now, a Maya, I believe at this point, I've got her as being 7, based on the year. Now, I don't know, is she just turned 7 2024, or had she turned 7 2023? It's irrelevant really, but I just like to get that correct. But they bring a Maya with them on the vacation, so she's going away with the grandparents. Very, very excited. But they do offer to bring Jailyn with them. I'm presuming they would have brought Crystal if she wanted to go. But Crystal says, no, 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 no. I'll stay at home with Jailyn. Yous carry on. Have fun, have a good time. Obviously, Amara's going with them. Amaya, sorry, not Amara. Amaya's going with them. So they leave. Now, at this point, when she says she's going to stay home with Jailyn, Jailyn is 16 months old, right? And then we come up to the 16th of June, 2023, right? Crystal, I've heard the phone call, calls 911, right? She's hysterical, absolutely hysterical, screaming about her little girl. Now, obviously, we're talking about Jailyn because that's the child she was left with. And I've heard the call, and has she got an accent? Yes. Can she speak English? Yes. Another problem I've got, but which I'll elaborate on in a bit. But she's the operator does struggle to understand her, but she gets the gist, and the paramedics and the police come out. And when they arrive, they do attempt to see if they can save little Jailyn. And they can't. They can't. She's pronounced dead on the 16th of June 2023. And you'll be like, my God, what's happened? Yeah, I'm about to tell you. So when the police talk to Crystal to get an explanation of what's gone on, what's happened, you've got recordings of a police interview, and basically it's all very much now, like I say, with her broken English, perfectly understandable in a police interview. She's got an accent, not gonna lie, it's quite a thick accent. Not even gonna lie about that. You can understand her quite perfectly. And she basically says Jailyn had been refusing food for the past week or so, but certainly the past couple of days. She said, she knows she's quite small, but she'd been a bit poorly leading up to it. And then the past couple of days, she hadn't really been eating very well. She even said she was scared. She thought she would have to bring her to the hospital. And then she starts explaining that Jailyn sleeps at least 12 hours a night, from 9 o'clock in the evening, sometimes to about 10 o'clock in the morning. She's a very good sleeper, apparently. Child's 16 months old. I'm like, Anyway, I know it happens. And she says on the morning of the 16th, she wakes up, Crystal does, and she can't rouse little Jailyn, and that's why she called the ambulance and the paramedics and called 911. This is her reasoning. She sticks to it. She sticks to it until the next day, the 17th of June. Now, when we get to the 17th of June, right, Jailyn has been seen by the coroner. Now, when the police had walked in to the home and found Jailyn, what they actually found Jailyn in is it's called, it must be an American saying, a pack and play. Here we call it, it's a carry cot. It's a travel cot, basically. Playpen travel cot. We use them for, you can use it for everything. She's found in that. Now the liner of it was filthy, absolutely disgusting. There was fecal matter, urine, just it was terrible. It was terrible in there. They found a couple of old crackers in there, some couple of bottles in there, milk bottles in there, baby bottles. But it was awful. Now what they'd noticed is when they picked Jailyn up, trying to save her, they noticed that her clothes were clean, but Jailyn herself was really dirty. And what they thought was she had very dirty fingernails and dirt around her mouth. That's what they thought it was. So like I say, the next day, when the coroner comes forward and speaks to the police, it's not dirt around her mouth. It's not dirt in her fingernails. It's not dirt on her feet. It's fecal matter. It's poop, mouth, nails. It's in her throat. It's on her teeth, bottoms of her feet, tops of her feet. She's covered under these clean clothes, right? Now her skin, what they'd noticed was very loose. And you know, when you do, it's like they say there was a room, like I don't know if it's a myth, but they say if you lift your skin, it drops. It shows elasticity, so it shows youth, but it also shows dehydration. And in a baby, that skin should just ping straight back, but hers doesn't. It just stays quite tinted, so quite raised. Her eyes were completely sunken, you know. There was no bruises or injuries to speak of, bar some scratches on her face that looked like Jailyn had done them herself. That's what the police in, the coroner, her name's Elizabeth Mooney. Now she, whilst working on Jailyn, said the manner of her death was starvation and severe dehydration, like severe dehydration. She weighed at this point 13 pounds. And when they checked, now this baby's 16 months, don't forget she's 16 months old. 13 pounds. When they checked 2 months previous, so where are we in the April, she'd been 7 pounds heavier. So she'd been about 21 pounds. Still, I don't know, but if you got a little petite girl, I had bricks, I did, so, you know, they were just massive. But little diddy kids, oh yeah, of course, £13 though, for just not eating a couple of days. Obviously, there's something wrong here. There is. Let me tell you what that was. Okay. So when they come back to Crystal, and they had to find Crystal, you see, because on that 17th, when the coroner's report came in, yeah, Crystal weren't at home. Crystal had gone to Michigan to visit a boyfriend the day after her daughter had died. It's a bit questionable. Yeah, it is a bit questionable. So they bring her back. They start questioning her again. All of a sudden, she's not speaking. This is not, I'm just going to say it out very quickly before I get any stick. This isn't a dig at anyone else who can't speak English, for God's sake. A lot of the world doesn't speak English. I'm not saying that. I don't think the world revolves around us. I'm just saying I heard this woman speaking thick accent. Absolutely. She was speaking English. She was speaking. You could understand her. Second interview, not so much. Not so much. All of a sudden it's a bit, huh? Shrugging. That had started to come into play, just letting you know. So the police basically charge her. They charge her now with aggravated murder. And you might be thinking, well, hang on a minute, there's something not connecting here. Well, Crystal herself pleads guilty to it. She pleads guilty to aggravated murder. Aggravated murder and bear with me, sorry, I just want to make sure I get the charges right here. She pleads guilty to aggravated murder and child endangerment. That's what she pleads guilty to. So we now come up to March 18th, 2024, when we all hear exactly what happened. Okay. Now I'm going to start with the prosecution in this, because a lot of it was laid out by the prosecution at the trial. She pled guilty, so there wasn't a trial. So, all right, so it's just a sentencing hearing. But this is when we heard exactly what happened, because it's very sketchy, isn't it? It's like, hang on a minute, your parents go on holiday, they take your daughter with her. Next thing you know, a few days later, you'll phone the ambulance, they come out, you've got your daughter, filthy, in clean clothes, realise it's not dirt, it's actually fecal matter everywhere. There's gone off food in the playpen's filthy. You're saying, oh, she's just been a bit poorly. Coroner's saying not so much. What's happened? So, what the police actually did, they went through 648 hours of Ring doorbell tape from neighbours. 648 hours, because they wanted to know what had gone on with this child. They needed, it didn't make sense to them. And this is when we find out exactly what happened. So her parents went on holiday, like we know. On that Ring doorbell, on the 4th of June, 2023, it shows Crystal leaving the house, not with Jailyn, on her own. It shows her leaving the house. That's on the 4th of June. She goes away for 2 days. There's a receipt found for Michigan. Remember I mentioned the fella day after Jailyn was found? Yeah, same guy. So she'd gone to visit him for 2 days. She returns. She comes back. She does come back on the 6th of June, 2023. At that point, her 16-month-old daughter has been left for 2 days on her own in a playpen. 48 hours. It's horrific, isn't it? She returns at 7:41 a.m. on the 6th of June. You can see her again about 11:51 a.m. And then at 17:24, so nearly 25 past 5, that same day, you see her leaving the house again with a suitcase this time. And about 5 past 8, there's footage of her on the highway, like our motorway. All right. We know, because of plane tickets, that on the 8th of June, 2023, so 2 days after that, she was living it up in Puerto Rico. There's photos of it on the beach, having a whale of a time with a bloke. What do you know? Not the same guy from Michigan. No, not him. Another one. Another fella. In, looking all lovely. Oh, she looks amazing. Very different to how you see her in the court. Looks stunning. In Puerto Rico. She stays there for 5 days till the 11th of June. Sorry, she's been gone 5 days. 11th of June, she returned from Puerto Rico. So you might be like, right, okay, it's 5 days. It's 5 days. She still doesn't come home. She still doesn't come back. She doesn't return till the 16th of June 2023. Another 5 days after that. Because she then goes, once she comes back from Puerto Rico with man number 1, she then goes and meets in Michigan man number 2. It's where she goes. She goes to meet man number 2. Okay. This woman, all in all, left her child, all in all, total 12 days. But in the last one, 10 days, she left that child for. And she left her with a couple of bottles of milk and some crackers. That's what she left her. Alone, 16 months old, in a playpen. She couldn't even get out. She was caged. She was caged in a playpen for 10 days solid. 12 if you count the 2 days, you know, where she done a little flyby visit to go and get a suitcase. I was so angry going through this. Okay. So but we do know, remember I says they were going through all the Ring camera footage on the 9th of June. So now she'd been gone, at this point, she'd been gone for 3 days, right? So on the 9th of June, and you can hear it, everything I'm saying to you, you can hear and see. There's Ring camera footage of this poor baby screaming. It flagged up on the neighbour's Ring camera, and you can hear her screaming. And in the court, it was silence in the courtroom. And in the courtroom, they must have played easy. It felt like it went on for 10 minutes, but it must have been easy about a minute and a half. It would have gone on longer, but it just felt like it went on for ages. Of just this little girl screaming, crying. And you could hear her screaming, "Mommy." That was after 3 days. 3 days that was. What the coroner actually said was that given the rigor mortis that had set in to baby Jailyn, and when it had set in, and what stage it was at, should I say, she thinks that baby Jailyn was alive for a week. She was alive for a week, 7 days in that playpen, slowly starving, slowly dehydrating, and just the stress that, you know, I don't know if you remember it from the Gabriel Fernandez case, when they've got is it thyroid gland in the throat, where it can thinnen to stress. Yeah, hers was ground down to nothing in her throat from stress. She was in the dark. Just like, and at the time this child was screaming for her mum. It was about 1:04 in the morning when that was happening. Can you imagine how dark it was in that room she was in? This was at 1:04 a.m. while her mum's living it up in Puerto Rico. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So basically, the prosecution themselves did try to get hold of Crystal's family, Jailyn's family, you know, the grandparents. They tried to get hold of them, to speak to them, to find out what was going on. They never returned a call. They never got back to them. They were in the court that day to support Crystal, to support their daughter, the grandparents, who lived with Jailyn. They came back from vacation with Amaya, the elder daughter. They came back to their granddaughter dead, their daughter arrested and charged. And I'm torn. But I'm not torn over the fact that they wouldn't get back in touch with the prosecution, at least to explain, look, I don't know what happened. He would go, what is it? What's wrong? But they didn't even get back in touch with her. Right. So, prosecution. Within that court, because they couldn't get hold of any family, the entire homicide unit from Cleveland Police Department, they were in the court that day on the 18th of March 2024 for Jailyn, and they said they were going to be Jailyn's voice. So I'm just going to read you a couple of things from the lead detective on the case. We will get to the defense. We're going to get to the defense. This is the prosecution, right? He basically said it's the most horrific case in 17 years he's ever come up against. And he basically says, we're her family now. He actually says that. His name's Detective TJ Powell. And he basically had written a poem. And he said, now, I don't normally do this. I don't normally do this on the stories. I do watch the trials. I don't normally go into as much detail like this, but the amount of emotion that these people showed for Jailyn, I have to, because her own mother didn't do it. So he said, J, for the justice received today, A, are the angel wings she earned on that dreadful day. I, incremental repetition of the bystander's death that clearly makes no sense. L, the lack of love while alone for 11 days. Y, a young life that was taken away. N, a new eternal life Jailyn gained on that day. No child should ever have to die in this way. And he was just so, that was what he said, breaking down her name. And you could hear his voice breaking, and he basically said she tried to survive on her own urine and fecal matter. That's why it was all in her mouth. That's why it was on her fingernails. She was actually eating her own feces. She was starving. His child was starving. And the dehydration, all her lips were completely cracked. Completely cracked. Sergeant Teresa Gomez, she's one of the interviewers that interviewed Crystal. She was literally almost in tears while she was talking at the trial. She's absolutely devastated. Like I say, she was almost crying. And basically what she says, she hopes Jailyn finds herself in the arms of Jesus and is loved, something she did not receive from her mother. Jailyn, you will not be forgotten. So that was those two. These are the police department. This is a detective that was coming forward for this child. She had a family. She had a family. And you've got these people coming who never actually got to meet this little girl. Just absolutely, absolutely awful, awful girl. Now, she did try to go. I have seen it in the comments. Of course she has. The mental health route. What do we know? Now, while she was away, like I say, she'd met not one man, which is the fella in Puerto Rico. She met two. She also obviously met the same man from Detroit the day after Jailyn was found. And while she's locked up, she's talking to her friend, right? One of her pals, about what they're going to do when she gets out, right? On November the 26th, 2023, obviously before the trial, she was talking about what a blast Puerto Rico was. What a blast it was. They were actually discussing the financial aspect of the trip, about the cost of the car, but the car was cheaper than a truck. This is what she's talking about. How much they spent on food. How much they spent on food while they were there. What's crazy to me is that this friend of hers is entertaining that phone call. She's entertaining that phone call. Don't forget, this is 6 months later, 5 months later. Her friend's talking to her. Not one mention of Jailyn in that phone call. Not one. Not once. Not once did the little girl come up. January the 6th, 2024, she talks to her mum. But this is obviously these phone calls are from the prison. She talks to her mum about how forgiving God is. They talk about God a lot. I'm Catholic. No. You don't get to throw him into the mix here. You just don't get to. How forgiving God is. And what she was saying was, there are people here, so she's talking about in the prison, who've gone free for killing people, intentionally killing them. She's like, and mine was practically, she's talking to her mum now, mine was practically an accident. I mean, I didn't intentionally do it, did I? It's not like I picked up a gun or a bat or something like that. It's not like there was blood. Absolute animal. Now, the defence. Remember I said I'd get to the defence? Here's her defence, also done on the same day, March 18, 2024. So it's only last month. Her defence attorney was a man called Derek Smith. There was a couple of them, but it was Derek Smith that was talking. He comes forward. It's a bit odd, actually. He comes forward quite angrily, basically saying there's no justification for her actions. They're selfish actions. She's worst parent imaginable. He comes through quite brutal, really, at the beginning. But, yeah, well, his defence, isn't he? Of course there's going to be a but. He goes, but she did plead guilty to like child endangerment and aggravated murder. You know, she did plead guilty to it. She was a single mom. She had 2 young girls. She was struggling emotionally and physically. Now, basically, it brings you back a little bit to February 2023. Her mum had said she'd been a bit down over the past few months, and she walked in to see her sat in a room in the dark on her own. The one side of her body was numb, apparently. She was taken to hospital because they feared she'd had a stroke. She was complaining of migraines. After the test, no, she was fine. She was fine. She had anxiety and depression. Don't get me on that soapbox, people. Don't. She got prescribed 2 lots of strong antidepressants. But then she went back to the hospital around March 2023, basically saying she'd run out of the medication. Doctor says, hang on a minute, we gave you loads, why have you run out? So they ran some tests again on her, gave her another course of antidepressants and also some sleeping tablets because she was claiming she wasn't sleeping properly with her anxiety and depression. And her drugs ran out again. They ran out again, and she decided, well, going on holiday. Because apparently she planned this holiday months beforehand. It had been planned for a while. She didn't tell anyone. This wasn't landed on her. And in her confused state of not taking a medication, she just forgot she had a child. Oh no, this had been planned for a few months, this holiday had. She just didn't tell her parents. She was, I know I've told you so, can we remember, this woman is 32. She's 32 years of age. So the drugs had run out, and she just stopped. She just stopped taking them. You are supposed to wean off them, as we know with any strong drug of any sort. But no, she just decided to, I'll just come off them because I got a holiday to look forward to. Now, defense says he has no defense for her actions again, but he says, but those pictures, remember I says the pictures on the beach, loving life, they're deceiving. Those pictures are deceiving. You don't know what was going on in her head. No. But I can see someone who's not thinking about their child. I can see her daughter wasn't with her. I can see that in a photo. It basically says you can't tell what someone's going through from a picture and what's going on the inside. Basically said she didn't have any support. We know that's a lie. Because even neighbours came forward to say she'd left Jailyn with them in the past for days at a time. The neighbours said she could have come to us. Not just the neighbours from the Ring camera. Oh, neighbours all around. She's left a trail of heartbreak, this girl has. This woman, so-called woman. She had support. Her parents offered to take Jailyn with them, with Amaya. She said no, knowing she was going away. What game was that? What game was she playing? He basically says that when he met her in the June, after Jailyn had died, been murdered, basically, she was emotionless. She was very cold. He says, but now that she's on her meds, she's a different person completely. Well, she would have known that, wouldn't she? She'd have known she was a different person on her meds. Because you'd know. Because she ran out before. So she would have seen the difference. Her family would have seen the difference as well. It doesn't work. It doesn't wash with me. And then he goes, there's no justification. Do you see the back and forth? He says there's no reason for her actions, but she had this, but there's no justification, but. And he just continues with these excuses. It's a back and forth. Basically saying, but they all love Jailyn and blah, 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 blah. Now, who comes also forward for the defense? Remember, now I know they're her parents. I understand. I get that. I can't imagine being in that position. And here's what her parents says. Her mum, obviously, is Ketty. And she just basically said, her speech in the court was translated. So it was, my heart is in 1,000 pieces. My daughter came from a family of love, emotions. The most important thing was family and God. Crystal was protected and loved and educated. She was a teacher like her father. But her emotional health was affected. She didn't continue her tablets. We know that. This consumed her. I'm not justifying it. I'm just trying to explain it to everyone. You can't see everything in a photo. It's like they practiced that one. She didn't have a good quality of life. She lived with her parents and her 2 little daughters. She had living help. Yes, she didn't have a good quality of life. Then she says, Ketty does, she said, our angel Jailyn, we will always love you. She basically does say, forgive me. While she's crying, she goes, I love my beloved daughter. And then she looks at the judge and just says, Your Honour, I beg for your mercy. Her dad, clever, pretty much the same, begging for mercy for his daughter. So it's all about Crystal. It's all about her. I don't know if this girl had any siblings. I don't know. But all I know is that it would make sense if, I don't mean the only child thing. It's just they are so focused on just her. And when you hear what she had to say, you'll see where I'm coming with it. Because again, still for the defense, Crystal stands up. She has the audacity to speak for herself. And basically, she's crying for herself, if you ask me. She's 100% crying for herself. She hadn't showed any emotion during the trial, during the sentencing hearing, when they were saying how bad Jailyn was and how emaciated she was. Her skin was practically transparent. This child, she wasn't crying through that. No, now she's crying. It's basically saying, okay, let me see if you can pick up on the pattern here. I have so much pain. I'm extremely hurt. I'm not trying to justify my actions, but no one knew how much I was suffering, what I was going through. And here's the kicker. Are you ready? God and my daughter Jailyn, forgive me. I'm not going to tell you what I wrote down in my notes. I'm not going to tell you what I wrote down. But it wasn't very nice. It was just all about her. It went on for a good bit longer than that, but that was the gist. That was it. I couldn't listen to it. It was just I, me, I. Oh, and it was done through a translator, just to let you know. It was done through a translator. She can't speak English at all now. It's all gone now. And then finally, the judge himself, he basically says, this affected everyone at the back of the courtroom. I don't know if he's making a dig at the parents. I'm not too sure. But he basically says this affected everyone at the back of the courtroom. It stunned the world. And you committed the ultimate act of betrayal. You left your baby alone and terrified to suffer the most gruesome death imaginable. Absolute depravity. You could have saved Jailyn's life many, many times. You could have phoned to get her help many, many times while you were away. And he basically says this is the bit that got me. He basically said that little baby persevered, waiting for someone to come and save her. Oh, God. Ugh. Instead, you were on a beach while your baby ate her own feces trying to survive. You've shown no remorse. I will remember Jailyn like you did not. Basically, he said that you left her, baby Jailyn, in a cage, and now I'm going to do the same to you. But at least you'll be fed. And she received, the sentence was for aggravating murder, life, no parole. So basically what he was saying was you left her, your baby, your child, your daughter to die in a cage. Now you're going to receive the same. but at least you'll be fed. She did receive 8 years for the child endangerment, but that will run concurrently. So, but she'll never get out again. And yeah, just absolutely disgusting example of a mother. Disgusting. I mean, even the coroner that came forward, what was the coroner's name now? Elizabeth Mooney. Oh, she was so upset. She was so upset talking about. They all were. The detective, the police sergeant, the coroner. They were all so emotional. Even the judge, to be honest, you could hear there was emotion. There was emotion because she was crying for herself. Oh, just absolute. Ugh. I can tell you what I wrote on my notes now. Absolute bitch. Oh my God. But yes, that was the beyond heartbreaking Jailyn Candelario story. And that was for Kelly's request. Thank you. Thank you, Kelly. Oh my God. Just awful. Oh, I nearly lost my temper a couple of times during that. I genuinely did. I genuinely did nearly lose my temper a couple of times during that. Because it's just trying to get... Who does that? Who? And then blames, oh, I came off my meds. Feel sorry for me. She was when she was on the phone, she actually thought she was going out. Let's just get this out the way. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you. Oh, yous are all here still. It's just awful, wasn't it? Just an awful, awful case. But I says to Kelly earlier, I'm grateful for my requests, because if I don't come across them or I'm not doing them. Oh, thank you, Phil. Thank you. Yeah, it was if I don't come across these stories, I might not do them, and I'm grateful because it means oh, thank you, Warwick. Thank you as well. Oh, yous are all lovely. Yeah, if they're not suggested to me, I might not do them. And I did notice there's just not a lot about this little girl. There's really not. I mean, I haven't noticed, like, not digging anyone out, like, but I haven't noticed a lot of content creators covering it either. Which is like, I mean, maybe they're waiting. It's quite new. I understand that, but it's just, I just feel really sad. I feel really sad. Who's had an Italian? Was that are you on about Phil's Italian? Isn't that last week? I know he went for an Italian last week. But yeah, that was request. Who's bogus? Who's bogus? Who's bogus? Who's lying? You use very terminology I don't hear much anymore, Warwick. It's nice. It's nice. Brings me back a little bit. I've got young kids, so I hear all these new terms that make no sense. Oh, okay. Let me throw one at you. Completely off topic. But tell me you've got to have noticed this. If you're on YouTube a lot or watch different things, tell me you've got to have noticed, not British teenagers or youngsters, but the American ones. But have you noticed that they don't say women anymore? They say woman for women. They use woman singular as the plural. You know they're meaning the plural because they're like all. So they're saying all and you're waiting for women. All woman. So these are college kids, and I know over there that's the equivalent of our unis around that age range, isn't it? So, what? It's just crazy, some of the things they're coming out with. Or, oh, sis, oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is, Kelly. Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful, Kelly. I nearly said it out loud. I nearly said it out loud. Don't get me on that soapbox. Don't get me on that soapbox. I won't have a channel. Oh yes, but just from that you can guess my opinion. All of them, all 153. Apparently we're up to. Oh my god. Oh god, I'm gonna get taken off. I'm gonna get taken off, oh no. But yeah, it's crazy. And yeah, but I could be looked at dodgy for that. But you're a deep Tiffany. Yeah, you get looked at dodgy for that, but not for actually going into that. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Who said that? Who said that? What? Yous are terrible, because I see these coming up, go to repeat it, and that's it. It's on my channel then. And yous all go, and I'm left high and dry saying these random words. Like my brother last week making me say, what did he say about the prison guards? It is. That's exactly what it's like. That is exactly what it's like. It's just crazy. It's crazy. I'm just hoping the next lot that are coming up will just have so many words. Screws. That's Tiffany. What are you doing to me? I managed to stop myself saying what Warwick put up, or what Kelly was, I think she was coming back to Warwick on. And I just ended up saying that. You're killing me. Read it, say it. I say what I say. It's who I am. I can't help it. And I try so hard as well. I can't. It's just there. It just comes out. There's nothing I can do about it. Oh, God. It's a good job it's near the end. It's a good job it's near the end. Because I do get told, well, no one watches that bit anyway. And I'm like, oh, do you know what? Sometimes, thank God, sometimes if they've cut off before now. Because some of them, and then top it all off my jingle. It's just terrible. But, right, okay. While I've got you all here, I need some more requests, because I've done Kelly's. I think I've got one for Natalie. And I have no more. I haven't got any. Don't shout at me if you have requested one and I haven't, and I'm just forgetting it. I'm really sorry. Please remind me again. But if you haven't given me any, send me some through. If you're on my Patreon, Hayley's not here tonight. Hayley joined my Patreon as well, and I wanted to thank her tonight, and now she's not here. So hopefully she'll watch this afterwards and she can see that I gave her a shout out. So yeah, if you're watching tomorrow, if you want to join my Patreon, it's patreon.com/JessRose5472. We do a request live every Tuesday. Now, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh God, I've gone brain dead. The first, no, that's not right. First, is it? What am I trying to say? The people on the live basically get first dibs on the request. So if you want first dibs, you have to join us on the live. Obviously, then anyone in the Patreon, they come next. And at the moment, everyone in my Patreon are on my live, so they all come first. And then everyone else, if you want to put it on my YouTube in my comments, I will have a look at that too. I quit well out of this one. Far too complicated and confusing for me. Phil, it's really not. It's not even confusing. It's just ridiculous is the word you're looking for. It's crazy. And I'm a very live and let live type girl. I genuinely am. I genuinely am. But I'm a Gen Xer. I was born in 78. We just didn't. We don't really. We don't bother with this. Or early millennials, I know, don't either. And then it's just gone, oh my God. But we all had it wrong, don't forget. It was us. It's us that are the problem. We all got it wrong. They're enlightened. It's us. We got it wrong for 2,000 years. Stop. I'm going to stop. Look, I'm climbing on the box. I'm getting on the soapbox, and I need to get myself back down because it's yeah. I can't. They'll take my channel. They'll take it off me. Yeah. So yes, like I say, if you've got any requests, please drop them through. It's not a hard amount to know. Warwick, you're making me say it out loud. Yeah, because I'm a cis one. I've got to go. ACA. Yes, you're a millennial as well. Oh no, you're a Gen Xer as well then, Phil. No, you're not. You're a millennial. Phil, you're a millennial too. But I'm a Gen X. We were feral, to be fair. I think is the word I'd give us. We were kind of a bit feral, which Tiffany can be. You did get me again. Thanks, sis. Thank you. But you are my witness to me being a feral child out on the street. That was who I was, and it was great fun. It was great fun, and and I'm not one for advocating for being mean to anyone, but I don't know how we'd have felt about not. Oh God. This is the problem when you can't say what you want to say. Yes, I was. Oh, Warwick's losing it. And yes, it is. It is a bollocks term. No, I can say that because no one knows what I'm saying. Oh, I'm swearing. Right, I'm going. He's getting me killed. Yes, so if you like to join my Patreon, it's patreon.com/JessRose5472, or join me on a Thursday. We're back on Thursday at 8 p.m. and I'd love to see you all there. I want to thank everyone here. And then also, that was a complete hatch job, that was, weren't it? I completely messed that up. My mind's still going like, what did I just say? Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Look, comment, subscribe. Look, comment, and subscribe, everyone. I need to get my fingers out of it. My fingers are really there. Look, comment, subscribe. I said I wouldn't be so great. Look, comment, subscribe, guys. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, Kelly, Natalie, Tiffany, Phil, Warwick. I think that's everyone, isn't it? Is that everyone? I don't think I've seen Hayley or anyway. And I did see Natalie. I saw Natalie earlier. And thank you all so much for joining me again. You're all amazing. And it's my story on Thursday. But thank you, Kelly, for your story tonight. Absolutely heartbreaking, but I'm really glad we did it. I'm really glad we did it. And I got to share it with you all. So, yes, see you all on Thursday. Like, comment, subscribe, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a fabulous couple of days. Bye. Like, comment, subscribe. I haven't gone yet. Oh, come on. I'm still here.